Once upon a time, nestled in a small, forgotten village, lived an old man named Elias in a humble mud house. His home, with its cracked walls and detached roof, was the humblest in the village, a stark contrast to the sturdy brick houses of his neighbors. Elias was kind and gentle, but he was also very poor. His only possession of value was a small, well-tended garden behind his house, where he grew vegetables to sustain himself. The villagers often looked down on him, whispering about his poverty and his dilapidated home. Look at old Elias, they say. His house is an eyesore. It's a miracle it hasn't crumbled to dust. Elias heard their words, but he never let them harden his heart. He would simply smile, tend to his garden, and share his meager harvest with anyone in need, even those who scorned him. One day, a wealthy merchant named Marcus was traveling through the region when his magnificent carriage broke down right in front of Elias's village. Marcus was a man accustomed to luxury and impatient with any delay. Annoyed, he stepped out of his carriage and surveyed the village with a disdainful eye. His gaze fell upon Elias' mud house. He scoffed, "Who lives in such a pathetic hovel? This entire village seems backward." The village headman, eager to please the rich merchant, quickly approached. "Welcome, sir. Please, do not judge our village by the old man's shack. He is a poor, stubborn fool who refuses to better himself. We can offer you our finest hospitality while your carriage is repaired." Marcus, however, was intrigued. He had seen poverty before, but there was a strange sense of peace surrounding the little mud house that he couldn't quite understand. "I want to see this fool for myself," he declared, marching towards Elias' home. Elias was in his garden, watering his tomato plants, when the imposing figure of the merchant cast a shadow over him. "You, sir, old man," Marcus boomed. "I am Marcus, the wealthiest merchant in the 5 provinces. I have a proposition for you. Your hovel is a disgrace. I will buy this land from you. I'll give you enough gold to build a brick house, a rail house, and I still have plenty left over. Name your price." Elias looked up, his eyes clear and calm. He wiped the dirt from his hands and smiled gently. "Thank you for your generous offer, sir," he sighed softly, "but my home is not for sale." Marcus was stunned into silence. He couldn't believe his ears. "Not for sale," he sputtered. "Are you mad? This pile of mud and straw is worthless. I am offering you a fortune, any life." Elias simply shook his head. "This house may be made of mud, sir," he replied, "but it is filled with memories. My wife and I built it with our own hands. We raised our children within these walls. Every crack tells a story, every patch holds a memory of a time we weathered a storm together. It is more than just a house to me. It is my home." Marcus scoffed, unable to comprehend such sentiment. "Memories don't put food on the table or keep the rain out," he retorted. "You are clinging to the past. Look around you. The world is moving forward, building bigger and better things. Your sentimentality is keeping you in poverty." Just then, the sky, which had been clear moments before, began to darken ominously. A fierce wind whipped through the village, bending the trees and sending dust swirling everywhere. The villagers scrambled to secure their homes, shutters banging against brick walls. A storm, sudden and violent, was upon them. Rain began to fall in heavy sheets, and the wind howled like a hungry wolf. Marcus, caught off guard, looked for shelter. The village headman, flustered, pointed towards his own sturdy-looking house. "Quickly, sir, this way. You'll be safe in my home." But Marcus's eyes were fixed on the small mud house, expecting to see it collapse under the storm's fury. The storm raged for what felt like an eternity. Rain lashed down, and the powerful gusts of wind tore through the village. From the window of the headman's house, Marcus watched in astonishment. A few roof tiles from the newer brick houses were ripped away by the wind. A large tree branch crashed down, damaging the wall of another. Yet, Elias' little mud house stood firm. It seemed to bend and sway with the wind, yielding to its force instead of fighting it. The flexible thatch on the roof held fast, and the thick mud walls, though humble, absorbed the rain without crumbling. It was as if the house was a living thing, resilient and in harmony with the nature that surrounded it. When the storm finally subsided, a strange quiet fell over the village. The air was fresh and clean, but the scene was one of disarray. Roofs were damaged, fences were broken, and the debris littered the streets. Marcus stepped out of the headman's house, his expensive silk clothes now damp and rumpled. He walked through the village, surveying the damage. His own magnificent carriage had been overturned, its axle truly broken now. Many of the sturdy brick houses he had admired earlier now bore the scars of the storm. Then he saw Elias. The old man was already outside, not inspecting his own home, but helping a neighbor clear a fallen branch from their doorway. His mud house stood behind him, looking a little damp but otherwise completely unharmed. It was the only structure in the entire feeling that seemed untouched by the storm's fury. A profound realization began to dawn on the wealthy merchant. He had always believed that strength came from wealth, from solid, unyielding materials like brick and stone. He saw flexibility as a weakness and the sentiment as a foolish indulgence. But he was wrong. Humbled, Marcus walked over to Elias, who was now propping up a neighbor's broken fence post. "Old man," Marcus sighed, his voice stripped of his earlier arrogance. "Your house, it survived." "How?" Elias turned and offered him a warm smile. "My house is not rigid like stone, sir. It is made of the earth. It knows how to bend with the wind and to stand with the ground it comes from. Strength is not always about being the hardest or the biggest. Sometimes true strength lies in humility and resilience." He then gestured towards his garden. "The storm has passed. Would you like some fresh soup? I have plenty of carrots and the potatoes." In that moment, Marcus understood. He saw that Elias was not poor at all. He was rich in ways Marcus had never considered, rich in peace, rich in community, and rich in a wisdom that money could never buy. The mud house was not a symbol of poverty. It was a testament to a life lived in harmony with the world, a life built on a foundation far stronger than stone. Marcus stayed in the village for a few more days while his carriage was properly repaired. He didn't stay in the headman's house, but accepted Elias' offer of shelter. He slept on a simple mat inside the mud house, feeling a sense of peace he hadn't experienced in years. He ate simple vegetable soup from Elias's garden, and he found it more satisfying than any feast he'd ever attended. He listened to the old man's stories and he learned about the true meaning of wealth. He saw how Elias shared everything he had, no matter how little, and in return, he was respected and loved in a way Marcus, with all his gold, had never been. The experience changed him. When he finally left the village, he was a different man. He no longer saw the world in terms of profit and loss, but in terms of kindness and the connection. The story of the merchant and the old man's mud house spread through the region. People learned that what appears weak on the outside can possess incredible strengths within. They understood that a home is built not just with materials, but with love and the memories. And in a heart filled with kindness is the greatest treasure of all. The humble mud house stood for many more years as a silent teacher in the village, reminding everyone that true wealth isn't what you own but what you value, and that the strongest foundations are not made of brick or stone but of humility, resilience, and love. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this story touched your heart. If it did, please consider giving us a like and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring stories. We'll see you in the next video.